Welcome in, guys. It's Brad with College SportsCast. We have something special for you tonight. We're going to do an episode of the Big Fuss Show, our portal edition, and a little bit about Big Blue.
Can I please have your attention?
What's all the commotion around here?
What are you talking about?
Let them yap at you.
It's actually very exciting.
Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast. We've got the crew here with us. We've even got somebody on that's brand new with us tonight. I'm going to introduce him first. We got Coach Ty Johnson on with us. What's up, Coach Ty?
Nothing much. What's going on? Hey, thank y'all for having me, man. I'm blessed to be a part of this, man. Thank y'all so much.
Man, we're excited to have you on with us. Ty's going to be joining us for a lot of basketball shows this coming year, this coming season. We're finishing up season 4 here. So we're going to have him on a few times with us as we finish up season 4. Just want to put that out there. We've also got John Hammonds on with us. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, man?
So we're going to get things kicked off and get things started. First of all, I do want to put out, I do this every show at the beginning. I do want to put out, if you're on Facebook with us, man, we appreciate you tremendously. We keep growing on Facebook. We're getting closer and closer to 9K on our Facebook page. Hit that subscribe, man. It's only 99 cents a month. You get your own subscribers page. We have a subscriber chat that we are in, and we are all the time posting info in there, especially this time of year. It's really, really big. And a lot of stuff being put in there each and every day, and info and insider stuff when we hear things and that nature. So again, it's only 99 cents a month. Hit that subscribe. Ty, and get things going here. We might get you in that subscribers page as well.
Oh, boy.
We got Bill with us. Bill is one of our subscribers. What's up, Bill? It is a great time to be a subscriber this time of year. It absolutely is, Bill. Agree with that. All right. So start things off, John. I believe you have a little bit of news. So a little bit of intel that you want to drop.
Yeah, there's a team to watch in the Kentucky sweepstakes. Actually, a player to watch. Let me rephrase that. Rebay from UConn, the 7-footer. That's a team to watch for Pope. A player to watch for Pope. I keep saying team, but player to watch for Pope. I gathered that this afternoon from somebody. I think the other team, is BYU and Indiana. Now, I don't know how BYU is going to handle their resources with Colin Chandler coming back now. Because they're going to have to use their money wisely because they probably got a good deal out of Colin. But Rebay is a guy to watch. He played really well for Hurley last year. Really good postman. I think he could really complement Malachi Marino well, depending on what Malachi Marino does. Now, we don't know what kind of feedback he's going to get from the NBA, what's going to happen there. But I do know I got a little bit of intel with that today. So, maybe it's a good sign, Brad.
All right. Anything else you want to, right off the top of the show, that you want to add in for intel? Anything else that you want to add real quick?
This is just my opinion, and we can get to it when we do the Tyran Stokes stuff. We'll talk about the Tyran Stokes stuff. I'll just wait for it. That was part of the other stuff, so I'll just wait till we get in on Tyran Stokes.
All right. That sounds good. Sounds good. All right, guys. I do have some.
I'm trying to find that guy's name, the Rebay. I can't remember his first name off the top of my head, but he played at UConn last year. So,
yeah, he was a 7'1" guy. I think he averaged about 5.9 points and about 3.3.
Yeah, he played sparingly, but he was really good in the games that I watched. So,
all right. So we're going to kick things off with the men's basketball stuff here. The first thing I want to talk about is Colin Chandler. Colin Chandler put his name in this week. A couple of days ago, I think now. Ty, was you surprised that he entered the portal to start with?
No, I wasn't. I wasn't really surprised. I know a lot of people were talking about, yeah, he's coming back. But for married people, we all know, happy wife, happy life. There was rumblings going around everywhere that she was not. I mean, she wasn't happy. She was kind of homesick. Which, I mean, if you lived up there all your life and you come to Kentucky, it's just it doesn't feel right when everyone's back home and you're here by yourself. I think it was a good fit for right then. But then once the wife is like, hey, I want to move back, honey. Do you fight that for a full year, or do you go to home and make her happy? You're going to get double the bag you got here from rumblings. Rumblings going. You're testing. You're not going to be in the league. You're just not going to the league. You might go overseas, but you have now money that is pretty much not really generational wealth, but enough money where you can live comfortably. You got a nest for kids and, retirement fund now. So why not go home and get double the money that you would get here? So no, I wasn't really.
Everything that I'm hearing, I mean, it wasn't just that she was homesick. It was like her family missing her family missing her, and you're right. I mean, when you're married, that matters, to be honest.
And I want to say this about Chandler. Everybody, I understand a lot of Kentucky fans are upset over this. Now, let's be honest. Chandler's not a superstar, but tell me if I'm wrong, Ty. He's more of a culture fit.
Mm-hmm.
A guy that, you can depend on, a guy that can hit a couple shots when you need them, somebody that can make a play when the clutch gets going. That's what he was at Kentucky, I felt like. When Kentucky needed a shot, especially the Tennessee game, there was a play that he stole the ball in Knoxville, made a play to Oway, and they won the game. Like he does the little things that don't show up on the stat sheet. And I feel like that's what BYU is getting. Now, he's going to hit some shots. BYU, last year, it was pretty much all A.J. DeBonta, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And now you got Rob Wright in the portal, and I don't know really what their roster is going to look like. And that's another name that I'm really confused on why we're not throwing the money at Rob Wright. So, but that's a topic for here in a minute. But Chandler, I wish him luck. Here's the thing about being homesick. It can really get on your heartstrings, Brad. And I think sometimes when you're away from a home, you ain't got your family, you ain't got nobody around, it can be difficult. And I feel like you've seen that late in the year. I'm not saying that's why they played bad. I just felt like you saw a little bit of that late in the year. It was just like you could see the signs a little bit.
Well, I mean, he was originally committed to BYU. He followed Pope to Kentucky. I think Chandler loves Pope. I think he really wanted to play for Pope. I just think when his wife wanted to go back home, and I have been told she had already went back to Utah. This was kind of inevitable, I believe, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. I totally agree.
And then when they throw in probably extra money here on top of it, it just sweetens the pot, and there's just no way he's not going to do it.
No, you're right. I mean, when you go to Pope and say, this is how much money I want, and they come back and be like, hey, big dog, I love you. I care for you. You can get this bag over here. I was I would love for you to stay. Pope's going to say, I love you. I want you to stay. But I think in my heart of hearts, Pope is like, listen, man, you can get blah, blah, blah there. You can do this. I think Pope is that type of guy. He's like, man, if you can go get that bag otherwhere, hey, I'm a family guy too. Go get your money. And, I think that's, there's no ill will toward each other. I just think that at the end of the day, like you said, if my wife is back there, long distance ain't going to work for me. I'm going to go home and start my family.
Yeah, me too, man. Y'all got to remember, he went on a 2-year mission before that. So, he's already 21, 22 years old. He's not a 19 or 20-year-old kid.
Let's be fair too, Brad. When he come back from off that mission, when he started to play, you could see the rust on him.
Yeah,
there was a little bit of rust.
Absolutely. At the beginning,
figured it out. He figured it out at the end of the year. He had the big game against Illinois in the tournament. He kind of figured that out, and then he come back this year, and he kind of was the main guy except for Owe. If I'll be honest with you, Ty, if we don't have Owe and Chandler, this is probably a 14-win team last year.
Yeah.
That's been
Chandler had some really big moments for Kentucky.
That's been very favorable too.
Yeah, well, but also you can't have Chandler as your top 2 guy and win. You just can't. You can't. I mean, I don't care what anyone says. You just can't have him as your top 2 guy. You got to have. He's got to be a third. He's got to be 3 through 6 type player. It is what it is. If you have him as 2, you ain't winning.
Got a few pieces. I mean, let's be honest. They got the Branch kid coming in. Richie Saunders is still there. I mean, he did get hurt. I'm not sure if he'll miss half the year or what's going on, but they do have some pieces at BYU.
Yeah. Here's the thing. You lose the scoring with Chandler. You lose a system familiarity. How you ever say that? I feel like you lose a little bit of leadership too. And see, the thing that people don't understand is portal players, they're older, they got proven production, they can plug in immediately. High school recruits, it takes a lot of time to develop. A lot of them are unpredictable, but I get where Pope is kind of wanting to like hinge his whole eggs into the Tyran Stokes deal. And
well, that's where I'm going next, guys, is Tyran Stokes.
You grab Stokes and you put people around him that fit the pieces.
Well, let's get to the news. Wait a second. Let's get to the news for today on Stokes. The big thing here was that Stokes announced today before the Nike Hoop Summit that he is going to be coming for a visit after the Nike Hoop Summit here. It's played here in just a few minutes. The men's game will be. And Ty, I want to ask you, I mean, I think it's a pretty big deal for him to announce that he's going to come on a Kentucky visit this late in the process, period. Don't you think it's a pretty big deal?
What's that? What was that dude that says, so you're saying there's a chance? Like, I mean, that's what it is. Yeah. You said there's still a chance. You're still flirting. You're still flirting. You're still texting that ex, hey, how you doing? Everything good? How's the family? And next thing you know, the romance gets back. And so I think it's a huge deal. I think it's an amazing thing. Now, what scares me the most, this really scares me, is I need Pope to be that dog. I need you to go in there and throw the bag. I need you to throw the bag, the KFC, the Keeneland horses, the bourbon, whatever you want, whatever Kentucky has for you, you throw it at him. Now, I have some other thoughts about this. We'll wait till a little bit later to talk about that. But if I'm Pope, and I'm going to contradict myself later on, but if I'm Pope, I've got to get him. So I've got to throw, governors, mayors from here and there, from Corbin to West Jesmond to Lexington, everyone meet at Rupp Arena and welcome this kid as he comes in on a throne. That's what you got to do to get that kid back.
And here's the thing.
So, John, let me ask you, is Mo going to be, do you think Mo Williams will be kind of the lead on this? Do you think Pope's going to be the lead on this?
I think he has to be, Brad. If you look at Mo Williams, okay, let's take this back a little bit. Jamal Crawford coached at Rainier Beach, right?
Yeah.
Him and Mo Williams are really good friends, right? I think it helps. They're really good friends, and Stokes played for Jamal Crawford. And I think that's going to help a little bit too. And my thing is, Stokes matters to Kentucky on all kinds of levels. He checks all the boxes, Brad. He's 6'7", 6'8" frame. He can handle the ball. He can score. He plays through contact. He's not just a wing. He's a positionless piece.
He is a guy that can go get you a bucket at any time. You don't have to set screens for him. You don't have to run offense. You just get him the ball. And when you need one, just get out of the way and he can get you a ball.
Landon Stokes is going to signal something bigger than what this is. It's going to prove that Kentucky can still land elite program changing players.
Yep.
And the transition under Pope is working, and it kind of shifts the momentum back into Lexington. In recruiting, you can ask Coach Ty, perception is everything.
Yes, but I'm going to do a pushback here. I'm going to push back here. Okay, we land Stokes. We get the pieces. But if the coach can't coach, that's going to be even worse on the program. Here's the thing. If we get Stokes, which I want them to get Stokes, if it doesn't pan out, you will never see a number one player walk through Rupp Arena ever again until Pope leaves. We saw the catastrophe this year. Just imagine.
I also think, Ty, that if they fuck this up Sunday, Monday, mm-hmm. and all of a sudden there's news that he's not interested, that it's over with, blah, 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 I think that's almost just as bad. So you have to nail this. You have to nail this on both ways. I mean, you have to nail the visit and you have to nail like playing with him and running an offense.
And I reach back to the whole one and done model. Okay, let's go back to it. Under John Calipari, Kentucky built a dynasty basically on elite freshmen, Ty.
Yeah.
But the game has changed. You got older, experienced teams. They're winning in March. You got pretty much freshman-heavy teams. They get really inconsistent. Chemistry became more important than having raw talent on a team. Programs that leaned older via the transfer portal began passing Kentucky.
Yep.
And the rise of the portal and the NIL raised the playing field. Kentucky had a recruiting advantage that few could match before, okay? So now you got the Houstons, the Louisvilles, the Arkansas. They can pay and retain talent just as much Kentucky, and stars can transfer out just as easily as they would at Kentucky. And it's not as overwhelming anymore as it would be at Kentucky that it is somewhere else now. But I think the majority of all this, to me, and Brad can go back onto this, is the lack of NCAA tournament runs. We haven't had many runs in the tournament. They've not made Final Fours. They've not been to a championship game. They've not been to the Final Four since 2015. They've not met expectations in March, except for a year ago when they went to Sweet 16. And at Kentucky, anything less than that, to me, is a failure. And I know people are going to say, well, that's being too harsh. No, Kentucky has a lot of standards. And when they're not being met, the fans are going to bounce back and they're going to fight back and bark. And I feel like that's what you're having happen on especially X. Everybody's at each other's throats. There's a lot of issues in Lexington right now that need to be kind of squabbled.
Well, let me ask you this, Ty. If they can pull off what most people would think would be a major upset and land Stokes, okay? How does landing Stokes change Kentucky's portal targets and who they are going after, who is going to visit, compared to if they miss Stokes? What do you think the paths will be, Ty, between those two paths?
Well, one, if you get Stokes, then you have that piece. You have that one piece that you can dangle in front of transfers and, be like, hey, listen, we have this kid. We're building around him. We think you could be an amazing fit. Now, I'm also selling the league. I have to sell the league. Now, if you're going to have every NBA team looking at him. So if you want to hit the league, you can play against him. You can get your thing. And now the NBA eyes can be on you as well. So I'm selling the league as well when I get these kids. So now it's kind of like the John Wall thing. when John Wall, when Cal brought John Wall in, he's like, hey, listen, you're not just taking yourself, you're taking everybody with you. It's kind of the same pattern as that when you have Stokes.
I guess what I'm saying, Ty, is this. Are you recruiting a little bit higher level, a more of a top tier level to go with Stokes? Or are you recruiting more pieces to go around Stokes?
I'm recruiting pieces. I got to recruit pieces because anybody that coaches know you can have all the talent in the world, the best of the best, but they don't mesh. You have to have pieces. You have to have, okay, I know this guy's going to be getting rebounds. I ain't got to worry about that. I know this guy can get the ball to him. I got to have a point guard. You got to put pieces that fit your alpha male, because if not, you don't want to have two alphas fighting over the ball. You just don't want to do that.
And here's the thing too,
John, let me ask you this, John, on that real quick, and then you can go on. But I want to ask you the difference between Zoom and Rob Wright, and what you're hearing about these visits and the Zoom calls and stuff that's going on between them, and how they fit with Stokes or not.
That's a good question. I feel like we're good on Zoom right now. Now there's reports now that he's going to go to Arizona this week, which I haven't heard. Trilly, for those that don't know, Trilly is one of the biggest insiders in college basketball. He had mentioned the other day that there was some rumor of it, but he hadn't heard anything. A lot of Kentucky fans are kind of hoping for a commitment this weekend. I don't see that happening. Now, it could happen tonight, it could happen tomorrow, but I feel like the whole Stokes thing is what's going to kind of jive this up. And on the other part, Rob Wright. The only thing I dislike about Rob, Brad, is his defense. He's a traffic cone at times. But you kind of replace that with his scoring. There was games where he went for 30 at times.
And that's what I like about Rob Wright. I think you pair Rob Wright with Stokes, and I think, man, you got something major if you could pair Rob Wright with Stokes, in my opinion.
We got Joe Adams on here. He can tell you a little bit about Zoom. We might bring him on next week, and we'll talk a little bit about it. But he feels pretty good about Zoom. I feel pretty good about Zoom. I feel like it all depends on what Tyran Stokes does. And here's my thing why Rob Wright and Tyran Stokes works. You got a lead guard, you got a pace controller, and then you got Tyran Stokes, which is he's going to be a wing creator. He can create mismatches. Wright runs the team. Stokes finishes. And it's basically what you got with Oway and Chandler, except better production. You got an Oway Stokes. Stokes would fit your Oway position. And then you would have Wright that would go into your Chandler position, except he would be at point guard. And then you kind of fill the pieces around and get some shooters. And one of those shooters I would go after is the kid from St. Mary's, Paulus. But if you get Stokes, you probably don't get him.
I mean, I kind of feel like that too. But what about Ty? What about Donnie Freeman paired with Stokes and Rob Wright? I mean, I'm just trying to throw out.
Yeah,
like those are some bigger names. Those aren't pieces.
Let me say this real quick, Ty. Before
go ahead.
I'll let you say something real quick. Getting right with Stokes, the ceiling of this team, you go from middle of the pack from last year.
I think that could be elite.
A legit March threat, and your offensive identity is restored. You're a top SEC contender. If not, you risk, and I hate to say it like this, you're putting Pope in a lame duck situation next year.
I mean, not if you get Stokes.
I'm saying if you miss out on both of them is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're putting him in a bad spot.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, so what do you think about the difference between Zoom and Rob Wright, and then Donnie Freeman maybe as a power forward?
I would like Donnie. I would like Donnie. I think I would like Donnie. Here's my question is, can Pope get, I don't think Pope gets, like we said, I don't think Pope gets him. Can Pope make sure that they all buy in? That's the big question that we can have everybody, but can Pope get them to buy in and not give them this this psychological mumbo jumbo of,
I feel like he did though, Ty, in his first year. He just missed on that this year.
No, I mean, you can't miss when you're the king. When Kentucky is the cream de la creme, you can't miss. You just can't. You can't. That's what we pay you millions of dollars for, to not miss. And
I mean, I agree with that.
Here's my odds and ain'ts. Here's where I'm worried a little bit, Brad. If Pope don't hit on the targets that we're looking at, and he has to settle for the second tier, third tier, it's not gonna be great.
I'm gonna be honest with you, John. If tomorrow, Monday, when Stokes gets here, I believe Stokes is going to help draw. If Stokes says yes, I believe people are going to want to come to play with Stokes. Now, if Stokes says no, you might be right. Team construction might be at an all-time like, whoa, what are we doing? Just to be honest with you, because if Stokes says no, John, like, we may not get none of these guys. They all might go somewhere else, and we might be stuck with the Furman kid. And I'm not knocking the kid, all right, but you don't get to be the lead guard or whatever at Kentucky from Furman and play in the SEC and win titles, okay? I'm sorry, you can be mid-pack, but you don't get to win titles and do that.
Here's the thing.
So
and you was kind of bouncing off what you were saying, Ty, when you said about the studs and the pieces. I feel like you get a stud in Tyran Stokes, but I feel like you have to get a stud at the point guard position. That's where we have lacked so much. Which, let's be fair, the last 2 years they've been injured. I get it. But they haven't been blown away point guards that we've really, really considered great. And that's where I'm going with this. We need somebody that can score, that can facilitate, that can drive, do all the things that a point guard does, plus score. We haven't really had that great of a guard, I'll be honest, probably since Shai Gilgeous.
But I'll push back to that. That's not that. I hate that. I hate that excuse for anything. You're a coach. You have to have a backup point guard. That is your fault that you did not get one. Yeah, we can say Jasper and all that, but Jasper was not intended to be the backup. It just wasn't. No. And for people that think, oh yeah, they brought him in to be the back. Shush, hush. Go sit down, eat your popcorn, watch the game, and just be a spectator. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, you just don't. It is what it is. I love you. I care for you. I wish you well, but hush. But that's on Pope. Pope should have had a backup point guard to have the excuse of, oh, well, we had two, and I'm just saying in general, 2 years of injured point guards. Oh, woe is me. That's Pope. You know better. You know better. That's from junior pro up. You have 2 point guards, a starting point guard and a backup point guard, and you didn't do it.
He didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
You, by the way, my bad.
And I'm going to say this about Jasper.
I do want to ask. Wait a second. Go ahead. I've been trying to ask this question for a minute, and we keep going on.
There have been some rumors today that Jasper's going to meet with Calipari probably this weekend. So,
yeah, but I have also heard that he's actually now he's got 5 SEC schools that's talking to him. Jasper,
Alabama, I feel like is the leader of all this.
5, y'all. 5. That's like for real. That's pretty impressive.
That's good for Jasper, man. I'm happy for the kid.
Can we come back to this once you did like later on? Because I want to say something about that. About the later on. Later on. I want to ask you this, Ty. So before this
Tyran Stokes news come out today. The last 24 hours before that today, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been a little worried about what's going on up there, about who we're talking to, all these Zoom calls, all this stuff that's going on. Team construction is absolutely dire for this team. For Pope, this year, this time, it has to be right. And we can't, in my opinion, okay, I want to ask you this. In my opinion, you don't go out and get second-tier guys and try to fit them to your number one guy, okay? Your top guy. My opinion, you get your top guy and get him locked in first, and then you go around and you get some second-tier, your role players and that kind of thing. And I feel like before the Stokes news come out today, I kind of feel like that's what Pope had been doing a lot and talking to a lot of guys that, in my opinion, didn't really excite me, to be honest with you. And I want to ask you on roster construction, team construction here, what do you think you're supposed to do? Go get your dogs first or your role players first?
It's a fine line. It really is a fine line because you have to play both sides, and both sides is I got to have a plan B, C, D, and F. I've got to have that because if I don't get the top dog, and in my opinion, you make sure the top dog is locked in and you have one person that's designated for that. You have to make sure I need to know what he eats, sleeps, drinks. You let me know. But also I've got to go over here and work on these other guys to make sure once we lock him in, I've got to have them on call ready to go. But then also you have to the other side of that is if I don't lock him up, I've got to make sure that I have plan B and C, D, E, that these other group of guys that I've been flirting with a little bit, been like, hey, we'll keep you in the loop. You know what I'm saying? We're interested, blah, blah, blah. You got to treat everybody the same. And that's the rough part about recruiting. You got to, in my opinion, you lock in the top dog first, and then you make sure that the other guys are ready to go. If you don't get the top dog, then you got to plug in who is going to be the top dog. So you're right. Roster construction is very, very important. But in my opinion, you got to lock in the top dog. And the longer this plays out, the longer it's going to be a little bit harder to get some of these other guys when they're getting bags right and left.
So are they going to wait on Stokes for the next 3 days or 2 or 3 days and until he actually or what if he pushes? What if he comes for a visit and pushes it off for another 3 or 4 days? Then are they waiting?
Let me.
Well, hold on one second. But also you got to think about the money aspect. Yeah, we can say we have all the money in the world, but money is a factor. If I'm putting 5 to 10, 20, I'm just saying, guys, I'm not saying real numbers, but I'm saying if I'm putting 20 million in this kid, I don't have 5 million to give to this kid. I don't have 4 million to give to this kid. All of my money went to Stokes. So I can't offer this kid to this kid and then still have enough money to give to this kid. So they are tied up right now. That's why you're not seeing a lot of these players sign because they technically don't know the money that they're going to be given.
Here's my other thing that I was going to mention about Stokes. Remember I mentioned the first of the show. Let me play devil's advocate here with you, Ty.
Mm-hmm.
What if Stokes is controlling this whole thing?
I mean, he technically is.
I mean, what I'm saying, who he wants to play with, who wants to come here, why he's waiting it out for.
If we're going to land him, John, he probably is pulling some strings.
That was my other issue with it. Like, is he controlling the narrative around, and is Pope really listening to that? And you got to think he is because he's coming on campus. So,
is he, or is he saying what he wants to hear just to get him? We don't know. Well, I'll play the devil. I'll play the other side. Is he? I mean, you to get somebody, you're going to say to get that pretty girl. You're going to say, "Yep, baby." Yep, I did. I worked out today. I look good, don't I? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to say what you need to say to get that pretty girl. And then, but the true color show. But like I said, I don't know what is said. But yeah, I'm with you. I guarantee that he's in here. Hey, man, you want to go to Kentucky? We're going to get all the shots. We're going to get this. We're going to get the Keeneland bag. We're going to get the Churchill Downs bag. We're going to get all this money, and then we're out. But what's so funny is people
Stokes is currently on TV. If you're on Peacock, NBC Peacock, he is on. Nike Hoop Summit is fixing to begin. They are showing him right now. Just want to throw that out there. If you want to catch that, just want to put that out there real quick while we're talking.
But I was just trying to say, like, what if he's controlling the narrative? What if he's making demands? Well, I want this player here, and I want to be surrounded by this kind of guy or that kind of guy.
That's a fine line now. Okay, now guess what? Here's where you can't give all the control to the player.
I don't think you can do that all, but could you say you pick your point guard, pick your something like that? Maybe.
Yeah, you can, but then once they so if he constructed this whole team, let's say he constructed this whole team, and Pope's like, hey, I'm benching you. No. We ain't listen to you. Now it gives a narrative kind of in a way of we have more power than you. We have more leverage than you. We can out leverage you. So it's a fine line. It's a fine line. I see what you're saying, and you're not wrong. It's a fine line you have to play with as a coach.
But then you go from, if he don't commit on Monday, can you wait till Friday?
I don't think you can. We saw what I don't really follow any other sports, honestly, but we saw what like when Will Stein got hired. I know that they was going after that one quarterback. Yeah. I'm not really for sure.
Yeah, and he pivoted after he went on a couple other visits.
Yeah, and so if he could do it, I'm sorry, it just is what it is. I can't wait the whole summer to figure out what you want to do.
Exactly, because if you wait, guys, half of these guys are going to be gone. They're going to commit at other places, and if you wait, you're going to be left like SOL.
Providence is throwing a bag out.
Joe brings up a good point. He said Stokes is coming because of Nike and Mo Williams' relationship with Jamal. His agent is trying to get most money. It has nothing to do with player. Hence why Stokes is coming solo on a visit.
Yeah, I agree with all that.
Yeah, and that's great.
I've been saying that for a while. It has to do with Nike, to be honest with you. That's what it has to do with.
Yeah. And if you remember what he posted a while back, he said chicks over straps.
Yeah, he did.
He gives a little subtle.
Yeah, but that's a Drake line. Everyone uses that. That's a Drake line, guys. Come on. That's Drake. Drake. That's Drake.
It's tongue in cheek. It's a little fun, Todd.
It's a poke. It's what it is. They just poke it. That's what I love about this. All the fans are all up in arms. Like it's like that little meme. Everyone's inspired.
I'm just saying, it's fun to follow some of it. Is all I'm saying.
It's hilarious.
Here's my thing about Kentucky fans, Ty, and I've said it. You could post that Tyran Stokes is eating meatloaf, and there'd be somebody post it right quick. It wouldn't take 5 seconds and it would be on.
Or they'll be like, no, he's eating hamburger. Like, you tell me it's meatloaf.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, man, BBN's different, man. I'm telling you.
All right, I'm going to switch it up here. And we've talked about a lot of different stuff here, with Colin Chandler, with Tyran Stokes, with Zoom, with Rob Wright, even threw out Donnie Freeman's name. So I'm going to give each one of you a chance here. Tell me your top 3 targets. Now, you can leave out Stokes as the head one if you want. I'm just saying, we all know Stokes is the main one. Give me 3 after him that you think is the most important to land.
Tyran Stokes. I'm done.
Yeah.
There you go. That's all I'm worried about is Tyran Stokes. Sorry.
Ty, not playing the game, damn
it. All right. I'll go. Rob Wright, I think, it would be my number 1. Um,
It's hard.
The second one, I think Reeby from UConn. I think the kid has got a special talent around him. He could be a really, really good piece for Malachi to kind of learn from and kind of be next to. He was really good last year for UConn in the games that he did play and the minutes he did possess. 3, that's a tough one, Brad. It'd either be Donnie Freeman or Vanterpool. I like Vanterpool from FAU, but I'm not sure if we're still in on him or not. There had been some smoke that we kind of backed up, but I don't know. But he would be one. But I would take Donnie Freeman. I love Donnie Freeman. I think the kid can play. He was on a bad Syracuse team.
Only you, Wireman. That's all I got to say. Only you.
Let's be honest, Brad. He was on a bad Syracuse team last year.
I'm telling you, he does that. Ask John. He does that every time he joins one of our shows.
I hate Wireman. Wireman, go on. Don't you got an article to write? Get out of here. Go on somewhere. God dang it, Wireman.
You know Wireman.
How about Tyran Riley?
You know Wireman, Ty?
He does.
Oh, man. Yeah. Me and Wireman go way back from the days at St. Catherine in that sweaty, non-air conditioned gym. Yes.
Yeah. He knows Wireman. Yeah. So how about Tyran Riley?
What I was saying, though, Brad, was Donnie Freeman played on a really bad Syracuse team. And he was good. But I feel like you put him in around better players, I feel like his limit is impossible.
He was a McDonald's All-American. He was a 5-star kid. Like, I think that's the kind of talent. If you could pair 2 more pieces like that, Rob Wright, Donnie Freeman, with Tyran Stokes, and then add in a few like role players and things, I think, man, that is a solid contender in the SEC. And if you're a contender in the SEC, then you're a contender for a Final Four.
And I'm going to say this about Zoom real quick while we was on that. I know a lot of fans are not enthused with him, but I watched him play. He's got a little bit of an O-way to his game. He's really strong with the ball. He can handle contact. He can hit the shot when needed. He's a pretty good three-point shooter.
Yeah, but I'm not sure you need that from your point guard. That's my
let's pump in a way. I think you do. In this college game now, you need that dual threat. You do need that guy that if Tyran Stokes goes out, let's say they get Tyran. If he goes out, you're going to have that from your point guard.
That's your wing guy. That's not your point guard.
Not anymore. Not in this game. Not in this game. Not in the game that we play now. The game has evolved so much from the European style to now. Like it went from the traditional point guards, the shooting guards, but now you see Wemby out, shooting. The game has evolved so much that your point. I mean, look at Curry. Curry technically was not a point. He's a shooting guard. So now. So, like, the game has evolved, so you have to have a point guard that can shoot, because now that stretches the defense out to now where I don't have to sit behind the three-point line. I have to come out to half court because I know you're going to chuck it. So, yes, the game has changed.
I'm not talking about a shooter. I'm talking about an O-way type that's always driving and having to get to the lane.
That's what you want your guard to do, though. That's what my point guard should be able to drive to the lane, boom, and be able to kick out for Tyran Stokes to shoot a three and all that.
I'm talking about always having to do that and not being a good shooter.
You want a downhill guard. You do want that. Yes, you do.
I mean, Rob Wright is a elite scorer. Mm-hmm. Elite.
100%.
I mean, and that's the reason why I think, for me, that's who I go with here, with Stokes.
I agree with that.
And Freeman. That's my 3. That'd be my 3.
Joshua, we mentioned that last week. Jake Fieldhouse. I mean,
I think he's got other places, man. Belmont. I mean, he's a lower guy.
He's a lower tier guy, but he's good.
He's a lower tier guy.
Is that the dude out at Madison Central?
Yep.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
I think Bellarmine. Let's see what else.
Belmont is one I think that's after him.
Transy.
Maybe Liberty. I can't
Liberty
remember.
would be because I've seen a lot of Kentucky kids used to go to Liberty too.
You know, I used to be really negative, and now Wireman, me and him was going at it the other day. He said, John calls me too negative, but I have a lot of concerns. And I get where he's concerned at. I do. You know, there's not a lot of positivity right now in Big BN. But let's be honest. I read a post the other day. Or actually,
Marsha, I'm glad you're on with us, by the way. I appreciate you being here. Just want to say that.
I don't know if you know Big Blue Bud. He made a post, Buddy from X. Brad knows what I'm talking about. He made a post. He said there's a lot of perception among players and coaches that they're not real happy with Kentucky basketball right now.
I mean, John, they've been missing out. They didn't have a great season. A lot of people are leaving. I mean, but right now, there is irons in the fire that you could strike with right now to help change some things around. So you just got to get them. You got to hit. You got to close. That's my biggest issue. Is you got to close this. I mean, you can't let him lead this on and be like, oh, well, take your time. And it's the middle of May and you don't have nobody. I mean, you've got to be like, we got to have your decision. We've done everything we can. We've met all your demands. We've done this as far as the NIL, blah, blah, blah. And you've got to close this deal out. That's just all there is to it.
Marshall, that's a good point. She was talking about the booing the coach, like they did in Nashville, the running down of players. I think that gets around to other players.
Oh, it does for sure.
But I'm sorry, that gets on my nerves too. Everyone's booed. Everyone is. Get over it. It is what it is. You see, you get death threats. Like
it's not what it is. It's those types of things. It's the death threat.
But at the end of the day, yes, they are 18, 19-year-old kids. That's right. Yeah. I was in that position. I was in college when we was beating Georgetowns and all that, and going to life down in Atlanta. It happens. It's something that sucks, but it's the price that we pay to play the game that we love, which it sucks. I know that. But at the end of the day, everyone gets booed. That's nothing.
All right, I am going to switch this up, guys. Let's talk about the Nike Hoop Summit that's going on just a little bit here. I do want to get to a couple of the girls that played tonight. Maddyn Greenway and Savvy Swords played on the girls. Maddyn played for Team USA. By the way, Team USA absolutely just killed World Select Team in the women's game tonight. But both Maddyn Greenway and Savvy Swords for the World Select Team had really nice games. Maddyn was stroking threes. Savvy stroked some threes. They are going to be great additions for Kenny Brooks and the Kentucky Wildcats. He has 3 McDonald's All-Americans, 2 Nike Hoop Summit selections here. And I just want to say, man, they were really good.
I'm telling you, Brad, she is a bucket getter.
And John, Maddyn was so impressive with her defense. And this is an all-star game. Nobody plays defense, Ty, right?
No.
Nobody.
No, unless it's the new phase, you know, that the NBA, you know, that now they actually played a little bit defense, but because you don't want to get hurt. That's just a simple.
She's taking charges, Ty, in an all-star game.
Nah, you crazy. What'd you say? Her name was Maddyn?
Maddyn. It's Maddyn Greenway.
Miss Greenway, Miss Greenway, please stop doing that, please. I love it, but I don't want you to get hurt. Okay, Kentucky needs you. From what they're saying, I'm not hip to your game. I apologize, but Miss, please, we need you here. Okay, Kenny Brooks needs you. Okay, he wants you 100%. Stop doing that.
All over the place, man. I'm not kidding.
Here's the thing, Brad. What really separates her from just talented guards, she reads defenses well. She plays under control.
And her speed.
She can create off the dribble. She can finish through contact. She knows when to score, when to facilitate. Listen, that's rare at the high school level.
And savvy, I got to give her a shout out here, man. Silas Sword's sister plays at Michigan. She's a sophomore. Her little sister, Savvy, here, she was on Team Select tonight. She was knocking down threes. She was definitely in double figures, I think around 14, maybe more than that. She might have been the World Select's leading scorer. I turned on. We started doing this. It was in the fourth quarter. I didn't get to finish it, but big shout out to both girls. Kenny's getting some star players. He's got a top 5 class coming in, including Emily McDonald, a shooting guard that filled it up at the McDonald's All-American 3-point shooting contest last week. So just really good stuff for Kentucky women. And then I want to turn to Tyran Stokes. The men are warming up. There is 6 minutes to go before the game starts. They are constantly showing Stokes. Actually, they're showing him right this second while I am talking about it, to be honest with you. Like they're constantly talking about Stokes on this thing.
He's a big deal, Brad. I mean, he's the number 1 player in the country. I mean, it's pretty much a given at this point.
I want to go back real quick, and I don't really talk about the women's game, but I did the edit for you all for that Maddyn Greenway, and I watched I actually watched a full game of hers, and I was like, whoa. Like, she was Euro stepping through. She was taking the bumps. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm with you. I see why everyone's excited. She's legit. Oh, man.
She's something else. She's a 5-time state championship. She won 5 state championships. She scored 5,621 points in her career. High school. It's the third most ever across the entire United States, Ty.
That's correct. Like I at first I was like, okay, she's all right. But then when she did the Euro step in between 2 players, finished on the opposite end, came down, stole the ball, sold the popcorn, ripped the tickets in half. I said, all right, okay, you got me. I am a fan now. I apologize. I ain't know about you.
Wyman says, I was getting death threats at SCC back in the day.
What did he say?
He said, I was getting death threats at SCC back in the day. Those games were crazy.
Hey, Wyman, I still have the video of you recording me when we beat Georgetown. Yes, we got death threats from them. Yes.
All right. I got one topic here that is not Kentucky related. Specifically, it's SEC related. And I want to ask you something about this because this was mentioned on a podcast this week. All right. And they were talking about it. It was an Alabama guy that was talking about it. I don't know what school it is. It was anonymous. But in the NIL revenue share, these are contracts that these kids are signing to show up and come play for schools. And it's been reported this week that a current SEC school is telling these kids that they don't have the money just yet, but for them not to worry about it, that they'll find a way to get it. And this is a current SEC school doing this in the NIL revenue share era. I want to ask each of you, are we coming to a time here where a school can't cover their contract for players?
I mean, you remember when Deion got hired at Colorado? They didn't have the money. They didn't have the money. They was like, we're going to get you the money. So it happens. Like, I can see it. I mean, you're paying millions. All you got to do is go to your booster and be like, hey, listen, I need that money. But it's going to take some time to get it. But yes, I think we are getting to that point.
Weird to tell. Okay, the report is that they were telling agents that they don't have the money just yet, but for them not to worry about it, that they will find a way to get it. That was the report.
You look at it. You can talk. Like you can get car dealerships, restaurants, promotions, social media. appearances, old school donors.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what happens if you go out and you get a $20 million roster and you can't come up with the funds?
I mean, that's bound to happen. That's bound to happen. I mean, what you remember the ESPN football game where the dude told ESPN that he had all these 5 and 6 stars football players, 20 stars, and they was like, all right, come on, and they played IMG Academy and got blown out by 50. It's going to happen. So I mean, I really believe we're getting to the time where everyone is getting paid, and some of these schools like, we ain't got the money, but hey, we'll get the money. Wink, wink. We'll get the money, and when they get there, no money. I think we're getting to that point.
Here's my thing is the whole thing seems so me and Brad talked about a cap. A couple of years ago, you had a player in Oway's spot, right? Well, he gets paid. Well, Oway
Joe says it might be Ole Miss that's doing that. Listen, I didn't put that out there. I don't know for sure.
Allegedly, we ain't allegedly. We'll say that.
Oway comes
we got
in,
lawyers
he gets
here.
his money. Then the player that comes in Oway's place gets his money. Like, how does that work?
Different ways.
My question is if this happens and you're in the middle of the season and they come back and say, guys, we're just not going to be able to have the money to pay you your full contracts, do they just quit?
Can't do it. I mean, you can't quit. I mean,
well, does the team just quit on you? Is that what happened to Kim Caldwell, John?
No, I mean, if you have a contract, you basically
look. That was a joke, y'all. It was a joke.
I even got that one. That's that bad. I got that one.
It's a women's basketball joke. I'm sorry, y'all.
I got that one.
Well, Wyman, I disagree with Wyman a lot, but he really is truthful about that. The model is not sustainable.
No, it's not.
Brad was telling me yesterday, or it might have been day before. He said, John, we could be in the next 10 years, college sports would be dead.
Well, I mean, at the rate that it's going, okay, here's my biggest concern. 3 years ago, the top players were getting $500,000 to $1 million. Right now, the top players in college basketball are asking, $5 to $8 million. Okay, in 5 years, we're going to be at a place where the top players are asking for $30 million at this rate, and I just don't see how, if that's the case, that is sustainable.
To answer your question, Jake, JQ is following in draft. I'm not sure what his plans are going to be. There had been rumors of him coming back, but I wouldn't look.
He's not coming back.
I don't think that's actually going to be true. To be honest with you, Jake,
I want to say this while we're on this topic. I had a mid-major coach. I told Brad this. What was it? About a week or two ago? It might have been. I can't remember. He said that he had a player come in his office and sat down with his agent, and he looked at the coach and he said, "Where's my $3 million at?"
100%, Joe. Asking for millions.
Yeah, but shoot, who would give Colin Chandler $3 million? No one's going to give Colin Chandler $3 million.
And this said coach said, "I want you out of my office." And he ended up telling me a whole bunch of things, but he said the thing was, it wasn't about him asking about money. He didn't even want to tour the campus. He didn't want to look at the court. He didn't want to walk around the campus. He was just asking for a bag.
Yeah.
He said, now, if he would have looked around the campus, like kind of done the whole visit thing, he said, I could have understood that. And I would have been like, hey, let's sit down. Let's talk about this. But he said he just walked in with his agent and just flopped the checkbook out and wanted his money, and he told him
I
to
don't
leave.
Josh is right. I mean, that's kind of what BYU did with AJ Beyond.
Well, it depends on.
I can't even say his name right off the top of my head right now.
AJ DeBonsa.
AJ DeBonsa. Yeah.
But the thing is, Brad, it depends on who's in charge. If it's a real coach that don't put up with that foolishness, he's not going to – it's all about who's in charge of doing these deals. Some coaches are old school when it comes to this stuff. And a lot of coaches ain't gonna just settle out and say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you $6 million and you're gonna play." Like it's not as easy as it looks with some coaches. That's why a lot of coaches like Jay Wright, there's a lot of them that are out of the game because of a lot of this.
But guys, we're at a point where we're in a entitlement error. I'm entitled to that money. I deserve that money, but you haven't put in the sweat equity. If you put in the sweat equity and you're a legit $1 million player, you're going to get that money somewhere. But these little Timmys and Jimmys and Billies that watch YouTube and, create their little reels and create their little highlights, they go to these coaches and be like, "Hey, listen, I deserve $1 million. Well, what have you done besides average 3.2 points on your high school team? And you think I'm going to give you $1 million? Take your little butt to BCTC, go play on one of those leagues and shut up." Like, we're into that era now where you have to be a hard-nosed coach and be like, "Listen, like I respect Pope for telling Colin Chandler, listen, we can't give you that money. Go find that bag otherwhere." And the reason why I'm saying that is because we know that, and he's probably said that to some other players as well. But I'm just saying, like, we have to have that type of grounding, and we have to have. I really believe you're going to have a salary cap now. You're going to have a salary cap of how much each team can pay a player. You're going to have to go that route. If not, it's just going to still be the Wild Wild West, and we're going to kill it.
I'm right. The way it's went up. I mean, 5 years from now, these dudes are probably going to be asking for $30 million.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Josh brings up a good point. He said, for example, if an athlete signed the NIL deal with Morgan & Morgan, does that law firm pay for their NIL contract?
Mm-hmm. It depends on what's in the contract.
Yeah, I mean, they
probably piece together this. They probably piece together everything. Honestly, we're going to get you 10% here, 5% here. Put it all in a trust and a fund, and then get paid through that way.
Right, they do. I'm sure. All right, I do want to get to a few topics here for the girls. I've got one that's kind of personal to me. Kaylin Carroll entered the portal. McDonald's All-American last year, a top 15 kid. This one kind of hurt me, to be honest, yesterday, to be honest with you guys. Kenny's brought in a lot of talent over the last couple of years, and the women's game doesn't have quite the portaling that the men's game does. It's still there. It's prominent, but not quite as prominent as the men's game just yet. The money is not the same just yet, anywhere near, and that kind of things. There is money involved, but it's not what it was. But Kaylin Carroll is a really, really good piece, and it's super important in the women's game to keep your talent if you are wanting to climb that national prominence ladder. And I'm not sure what's going on here. I know 2 weeks ago when the season ended, KK is her nickname. KK said that she was going to take some time off and that she was looking forward to getting back and proving next year. And she sounded like a player that was coming back. Okay. This was just 2 weeks ago when the season ended. I'm not sure what changed. I'm not sure what's going on behind the scenes here. I know that Kenny has been having his end of the year meets and all that with his players and stuff. My concern here is if Kenny's telling her that she needs to move on, I don't like this, because I'm just going to be honest with you. Top 15, 6'3", 6'4" players in the women's game don't come along every day.
Well, and to be fair, Brad, she's not a role player recruit.
No,
She's a
Like,
top
she
15.
was a perfect player to take Amelia Hassett's spot. Shooter, just like with Amelia Hassett, she was the perfect player to just fill her spot. She was a freshman this year. She's got 3 years worth of eligibility left, and she was an important piece. I just want to say, go ahead.
Well, my thing about the whole Kenny Brooks thing is, if you're wanting to build a foundation and you're wanting to, like we said with the basketball team, the men's, the retention, you got to keep some of these girls.
You got to keep your talent, for sure.
If you keep revolving around a revolving door over and over,
I mean, he recruited her. He landed her. He recruited her. He brought her in here. I know for sure. I talked to her myself. I know her. I know a couple of members of her family. I know for sure she was planning on being here 2 weeks ago. I know that for sure.
Well, and look at Clara Silva. She went to TCU.
Clara Silva was another one last year, and I'm not going to get into that, but I was told there's some things that was told to her that made her leave, and it's concerning. I mean, 6'6" does not grow on. I mean, 6'7" does not grow on trees in the women's game. That's what Clara Silva was last year.
Here's my thing with the whole portal, with the Kentucky women's side of it. You've heard absolutely nothing.
Nope. Yeah, that's my next topic. It's been absolute silence for almost a week, 5-6 days now. The portal opened on the women's side 1 day earlier than the men's because the championship game is 1 day earlier. So the women's portal's been open one day earlier, and set up for the men's. But Kenny, there's been no contact. There's been nothing. And it's a little bit concerning. And listen, nobody loves Kenny Brooks more than I have the last 2 years, as far as somebody, a report like media that is following the team. I know him really well, first name basis. He knows me. He knows my son. And honestly, I'm not afraid to say that I love the man, to be honest with you, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm really not afraid to say that. So but I am a little bit concerned about what's going on.
Well, I mean, you got all these teams like Ole Miss, Coach Yo,
Tennessee. Kim Colford had to, because she's left with nobody. So she's had to be in the
she
portal.
went after some mid majors, but
she's had to at least be in the portal, making some contacts and bringing some people in. Kenny's done none of that. So,
yeah, she ain't really had a choice though, Brad, to be honest.
Well, I mean, that's true, but Coach Yo's on it all the time at Ole Miss, and she's really good at it. John, I'll ask you. You've been with me doing these. I mean, Kentucky's needs here. You got to have a big to go with Clara. Now you've got to have a 3 or 4. I feel like 6. With Caitlin Carroll going 6'3", 6'4".
I mean, you could have looked at Lauren Hurst. I mean, I think she committed to Virginia Tech.
And he recruited her last year. She was a freshman this year. I mean, he recruited her. I don't know why he's not going after her, to be honest with you.
The Petrie girl from Penn State. Now, I've heard kind of some things floating around that she might be going to Indiana, but I don't know how.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Gracie Merkel is the 6'6" girl from Penn State. She played at Bellarmine. She's from Mount Washington here in Kentucky. But I have been told for a couple of years now, just to be honest, that she was not a big Kentucky fan growing up, and that might be one of the reasons why she has not been, because she was in the portal last year as well, and she's 6'6", got size, 19 points and like 13 rebounds, 2 block shots. I mean, at Penn State last year. I mean, she's solid. She would be a very, very good pickup, but I'm just not sure. The Triger girl from NC State would be an absolute great target. She's 6'6". She has 2 years of eligibility left. She would be fantastic to go after. Panya Davis.
I'll give you
Six
another
foot
one.
six from Florida State would be a great one to go after for Kenny here. Size is absolutely going to be a huge deal. Kenny's got 3 wings and a point guard coming in that is a top 4 class in the country. I think he's going to be young. I think he's going to be young, but because those kids are going to play. All right, we just talked about them a little bit earlier, but I will say this: you have to get some pieces here out of this portal. You're left with like 5 or 6 players. You got to have a bench, Kenny. I love you, but you got to have a bench.
One I think too.
Ty, please tell Kenny Brooks, and I know you don't know him, but please tell Kenny Brooks that you have to have a bench.
Well, after that butt whooping, he took it. What was that? What were y'all in the Elite Eight? Was it Elite Eight? I mean, you're gonna have you can't rely on 5 to 6 players right now. You can't. Ask Mark Pope how that turned out.
Yeah.
Go down the hall at the craft center and talk to Pope about the bench. That's what you need to do.
And the reason why I said Ty, Kenny, if you watch this, the reason why I said Ty is because Ty's been a coach. So AAU coach, he's not, but he's been a coach. So that's the reason why I said that. But like, you got to have a bench, Kenny.
Well,
it's the SEC. It's tough. It's physical.
What about Audie
You got to
Crooks?
have a bench. What's that?
What about Audie Crooks?
I mean, she's only 6'3", and I'm not sure how she would pair with Clara Strack, but she is somebody that you could go after for sure.
Just as I said that, Wireman said the same thing. He said you need size and strength in the paint.
You do. I'm just not sure how she pairs because she eats up the middle, and I'm just not sure how she pairs with. You need a big that can step out. That's the reason why I like the Triger girl, Tilda Triger. She's from Sweden. She's 6'6", John, and she shoots almost 40% from the 3-point line.
Kind of like another.
I mean, she would be absolutely perfect, Kenny. You've got to get out there and make calls and get this girl in here. Like she blocks like almost 2 shots a game. She averages about 11 points and about 8 rebounds. She shoots almost 39.7% or 39.8.
Another Mia Hassett. Another Mia Hassett.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have girls like that can go inside, but also can step out and open that lane up between her and Clara, and you have so much more movement that teams have to defend when you can do that in the women's game. So she would be a huge one. You've got to go out, Kenny, and you've got to get 3 or 4 players. At the very least, you really need 5 or 6, to be honest with you.
But I'm gonna chime in here for like a second. I don't know nothing about the women's team, but didn't like Kenny like was supposed to talk to Virginia or something like that, like another job or something. But hold up. Maybe that delayed him. He thought he might be going. It maybe delayed some things. And
you're right. I
have no idea. I don't know anything about the women's game. I'm just throwing something out there, like maybe. Because I mean, you think if I think I'm going somewhere else, why am I recruiting and calling people to come to Kentucky? When I could be backdooring and be like, hey, I'm going there.
I'm not going to say that for sure. I mean, that didn't happen. You're probably right. That might have played a role in it for a few days here, to be honest with you. But it's time to get back out there. Kenny, Clara Strack, I want to end with this with the girls, okay? Clara Strack is a senior next year. She was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year last year. She is a stalwart. She is one of 5 girls that is named for the Lisa Leslie Award, the best center in college basketball this year. All 4 of the other 5 are leaving the college game. Claire is the only one returning, and that means she should be one of, if not the leading center in the game next year. And it's time to do something with Clara before she's gone, so you can climb this ladder to national prominence a little bit. And here's the deal, Kenny. You got 3 McDonald's All-Americans coming in, and yes, that's going to help with some talent and some shooting because I seen it tonight, all right, in the Nike Hoop Summit game. But you got to have some size and you got to have some physicality. This is the SEC.
You know what would be amazing? And I know it's not going to happen, but if the game ended, Tyran Stokes just comes out in the middle of the floor and says, "Hey, I'm committed to the University of Kentucky." You talking about a night to remember. That would be something.
I don't put it past anything at this point. You know what? That it might happen. I don't put for all I know, he's going to have a jet spelling out committed to UK for all I know in the sky. Anything can happen at this point. We're at that point where delusional is taking over.
This is true. One last thing on this before I move on to something else here. I just want to say that physicality and stuff. I said you got to have that physicality and stuff for the SEC. You also, what I asked Ty about, you also have to have some depth and use your depth, build your depth. You cannot play with 6 players in the SEC against the Texas and the South Carolinas and the LSUs. They're too tough. They play physical defense. Oklahoma's, Ole Miss. I mean, I can go on and on in the SEC.
And they wear you down.
Absolutely. So you have to get some depth pieces here. You've only got 7 players, and I'm going to be honest with you. Gabby is probably not going to play a ton, and we all know that. I don't have a problem with that. But you've got to fill a spot to where you got some depth for this coming season. And it's an important year for Clara Strack. So I want to hear you that you're out here in the portal doing some stuff. I love these girls. I love covering them.
I kind of want to see Tim Yoki host a Kentucky gift.
Yeah, I mean, it's just important. I mean, it really is. So,
and if everybody don't know who Kim Milky is, he's the Trilly of women.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm right there with you. If you don't have depth in this game, it's really, really hard. Like it's hard to imagine going 7 deep in a SEC conference of people that actually, what did he say? Well, I saw my name. Hold up, let me. Ty's reading comments. Haha, just said, "Hey Joe, big fella, let me tell you something, big dog. That's common sense. Sorry, it is. If you've been in the game, you know. I've been in the game long enough where it just is what it is. Like if I know I'm going somewhere, I'm not going to say nothing to no team. It just is what it is. Yeah. I guess common sense. But and I don't even know anything about women's basketball. But as far as depth wise, you're going to have that. You're going to have 8, 9, 10. Now, are you going to go that far? No, but that's just the
yeah, but earlier in the season, when you're playing when you're playing these little bitty schools, states and whatever, you got to start like building some of that depth. In those games, you are playing 9, 10 players early.
Yeah, but when you get an SEC play, you're not going to do that. So I'm with you.
No, you're going to cut it. You're going to cut it back a play or two, for sure. Yeah,
no, I totally agree. I mean, we see the men's side. They played. The Trent Noahs, they played all those kids that really wasn't going to play, and they played them. And it's kind of building their resume a little bit. So yeah, no, I'm with you. But you're going to have 10 deep, especially in tough SEC play.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, for real, you definitely have to have that. And I'm hoping to see Kenny get out there and get in the portal and get busy. Like I said, I named 3 girls that are 6'6". 2 of them can shoot the ball, and 6'6" that can block shots and rebound, and then go out and hit 3-pointers. There's not a lot of those in the women's game that can do that. All right, there's really not a lot that can do that. So go out and land one of them because it's super, super important.
He's staying.
All right.
Joshua Hart. He asked about
Trent Noah. Want to mention before we go.
Trent Noah's coming back.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second, I promise. I do want to mention before we go, though, the top left of this screen is our QR code for Home Field Apparel. It has been up on the screen the entire time. that we have done this show. I did not mention it. I usually mention it at the top of the show. I forgot to. I just noticed that it's up there. That is our QR code for Home Field Apparel. If you're wanting some really cool vintage retro gear, check out Home Field Apparel. It's out of Indianapolis. The company they are a licensed collegiate vintage apparel company. They have, I think, over 190, approaching 200 now, licensed teams that they can sell you. If you're a Kentucky fan, they had some denim stuff right now in March for sale that was really, really cool. Some retro denim stuff from the 96 team 30 years ago with Mark Pope. All kinds of other stuff. They have the Power K in football. They have some Will Stein stuff right now. Stein Time. I think John has one of them. Go check them out. Any school, or not any school, almost every school, you can check them out and use our code CSCast. And we appreciate that. That helps you, helps us. And that's what that code is at the top of the screen. So I just want to point that out. I don't
want to speak on Noah very long. I just want to say good for Trent, knowing he's coming back, and you know, he's probably just a Kentucky boy and wants to play. And
well, so what I saw on Trent Noah, I'm just going to be honest. What I saw, Ty, is this. He is planning on coming back, but he also is going to wait and see how many spots is filled, who all's coming. You know, if he feels like they fill up an entire team and he may not get any playing time, I think there's still a chance that he might put his name in the portal late. I don't really like that. I would rather have a decision by him and say yes or no. Are you coming back or no? But Ty, how do you feel about that? I
mean, I don't think he's going to play. I'm not high on the kid. I've never been high on the kid. I think he's a little bit out of his league when it comes to him. And I don't mean that in a bad spot. I mean, there's levels to it. I think he would fare well at like a not maybe a SEC school, maybe a little bit below, like a mid-major. I think he would shine there. He would average 10, 11 points there. I just don't think he's a fit here, especially with the dogs that you're getting ready to bring in.
He could have WKU.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think these type of kids that average, you know, like 30 points, you know, in, you know, Kentucky, we want to see them do good. We want to see, that's the dream, to go to Kentucky. That is every kid's dream that played for kids.
Travis Perry's back in the portal. And
yeah,
I mean, if him and Noah teamed up at WKU,
hey, that place would sell out every day. Man. Like that, and I understand coming to Kentucky. That's your dream. So I totally get that. But for some of these people that actually really think that they was going to play, no, I mean, there's levels. There really is. And they're getting kind of recruited over. You're getting who you think you're going to put, Tyran Stokes or Trent Noah? Like, who you're going to play? Like, I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is. But I'm not. I think he should go where he can shine. Go get that's another thing. Go get where you can get the most money you can. Go. I mean, you can get money here, but you could probably get way more on the market right now.
But to be fair, I respect him as a person, that he's willing to sit on the bench and ride it out.
I mean, if that's his choice, I do too, to be honest with you.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Josh, you asked, do I have a link? Yes, there is a link on the Facebook page, College SportsCast. It is, if you scroll down just a little bit, that link for the Home Field Apparel.
And while we're on this, I just wanted to say that I'm going to talk to Joe Adams here in a couple of days, and we're going to try to get him on our show.
So a couple of other things real quick before we get off and log off here for the night. Ty, you did say that you wanted to say a few more things about Jasper Johnson. So I want to give you the floor for that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great that a lot of the SEC schools are reaching out to him. There's a lot of talks to him. He is a great player. He is. Now, the thing is, he just didn't fit in this system. You can't judge a kid for not fitting in the system. You got to see what happens the following year. You know, he might go to Alabama. He might go to Arkansas and thrive. It just wasn't this fit for Pope's system. It is what it is.
And to be honest with you, Nate Oates has done really well with some guards over the last few years.
Yeah, so he can go to another school and shine, and it'd be a perfect fit. We can't just, he's trash, he's this. No, he's not. He wouldn't be where he was at if he was trash. You have to go through a gauntlet.
I'm not discarding Calipari here. Calipari is definitely a player, and for sure he doesn't always hit with every guard, but he can make the guards a lot better when he really wants to, just to be honest.
I don't think he fits at Arkansas. I don't think his style will fit with Cal's system. But I think
Nate Oates is probably the better system for him, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like I said before. He played out of position.
Yeah. I
think a lot of fans thought he was coming in to be the backup point guard.
I said that earlier. That's right.
Yeah.
If you really play, these Billies and Timmies and Jimmies that has never touched the basketball does not understand. I'm sorry, you just don't. Let me break it down for you. Positions was put into basketball for the novice to learn as a point guard, as a shooting guard, as a small forward, center. All because he played a shooting guard his whole career. Not really at Southern, but I mean, it is what it is. But he played his shooting guard, combo guard, been able. Now you're taking, that's like you saying, hey, you're an accountant. Now we're going to make you a mechanic. You're going to struggle. You're going to have learning curves. He was not a point guard. He wasn't brought in here to be a point guard. He was in here to make plays and put the ball in the basket. Now you're asking this man to control an SEC team that Mark Pope said, we have a Ferrari, and then the wheels fall off. You want to blame this kid? No, it is not. It's not. It's apples and oranges, and it does not count.
And I'm going to say this before we get off. You know, I think it was it the Auburn game, or was it was the Auburn game, wasn't it, Brad? We was up 6 or 7, and there was back-to-back plays where he
had some turnovers.
He made mistakes, and he got jerked out of the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what that does to a kid? Me and Brad talked about this all season long. You have to let him play through his mistakes. And I'm not saying that what Pope did was wrong or right, but I feel like you mess with a kid's head when you do that.
Especially when you jerk him out immediately, and this is in the first half, and he never gets inserted back into the game at all. That really messes with a player's head. Ty was a player. He knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and then the fans kind of, I feel like they destroyed him after that.
But also you gotta have that conversation too. If I'm Pope, I'm bringing him in and having a one-on-one. Listen, I'm going to break down we're going to break down some film. This is what I saw. I have faith. You got to put the confidence back in the kid. I'm not saying Pope didn't do that. I'm saying but you also had to put the confidence back in the kid, because that was an important game. You pulled me out, and I've never been pulled out of a game in my entire career. The kid was a top player. No top players have ever been pulled out. You know, you just don't do that. So now he's getting adversity. He's hitting the wall. He's like, man, what am I doing? Now you're getting your psyche. Now the psyche's playing. Do I suck? Do I this? Do I that? So Pope has to come in and be like, listen, let me show you what I saw. I need you to fix it. I know we're asking you to play out of position. I can live with some turnovers, but I need you to get better. I need you to do that. But you're right, 100% right. It plays on the kid's psyche now.
And I want to say this too. I was at the Florida game, pregame, and I was on the floor. I think I wasn't too far from Jasper, and you could just see his body language. It was just, I wouldn't say it was defeated. It was just like, okay, I'm here again today. And it's just, I don't know.
Wow, man.
It just kind of, I don't know.
I'm telling you,
his body
We'll
language
get to
just
some
didn't.
football. We'll get to some football on in the next either Monday or Tuesday. We're going to do another show. If we do Tuesday, Ty can be here, so we'll talk about it after the show here.
But like I
But
said,
the spring game is a week from today for Kentucky football. There is a ton of excitement. We will get to some talk about that in the next few days. So there is a ton of stuff to get to with that.
I just wanted to end that before Wireman interrupted there. His whole body language just seemed out of ordinary.
Yeah.
And, I talked to him after the game. I just, I kind of just gave him some, appreciation, because kids like that, when they're in that situation, it can be tough. It really can. I
was on with Ty last Saturday on a show for him, and we talked about this. I wish nothing but the best for Jasper. He's always going to be a Kentucky kid. He grew up being a Kentucky fan. Now, like I said last week, if he comes back and plays Kentucky, if he goes to an SEC school and plays Kentucky, then all bets are off for at least a game or two. I'm not going to lie. All right. I'm not lying about it. So that's just all there is to it when it comes down to it. But as far as his career and everything else, I wish nothing but the best for the kid, his family, and everybody else. I want to say this, family wise, and Dennis, I know you. I have not met your brother Derek, but I will say this. It's time to let it go. We all know you've said your piece. We all know what's happened. And in my opinion, he's gone. He's in the portal. He's talking to other schools. He's soon to be committed somewhere else. And I'm talking about on social media. It's time to let that go, in my opinion. Ty, you agree with that?
Yes and no. I'm gonna play both sides this time. I'm gonna play both sides. I agree. Sometimes it's hard to let that go. I can't judge another family, and you're not judging nobody, but I'm saying I can't judge another man's feelings if he feels like that's what he needs to do. But also there comes a consequence to that. Now it puts more eyes on the situation. Sometimes you just got to be quiet. You're right. Sometimes you just got to let it go. And just let it play out. The kid was down in the Johnson Center playing pickup basketball with other students. So I understand the frustration. I totally understand. Sometimes people want to vent, and if that's the way they want to vent, okay, that's fine. But also know it kind of shines a negative light. And if that's what he wanted to do, to voice his opinion,
I'm sure whatever school he's going to go to, whatever coach he's going to sign with, wants all that stuff to be moved on to. I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Because you don't want that to be, the first thing that people see when they say Jasper Johnson commits to whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, great kid, amazing family. I wish him nothing but success. I hope he does come back. And I'm one of them people. I hope he comes back and drops 50 against Kentucky. It is what it is. I love Kentucky. Have no problem. I hope he drops 50 against Kentucky and walks off and tells Kentucky fans, I still love you. It is what it is. That's what I want. The same way. It's the same thing that when Chris Lofton came in here in that ugly orange. I love watching him light him up. I'm sorry.
I got to disagree with you on that one now.
I love Chris. Known Chris forever. I love it.
I was done with it.
Sorry.
Time he put that orange on, no.
I loved it. I'm sorry. I loved it. I played against Chris. I love it. But no. As far as
nothing against him, because he's went through a ton and he's a Kentucky kid. But as far as that, no.
Yeah.
No.
I love it. I'm sorry. Sorry, Kentucky. But no, I wish Jasper nothing.
Orange tie. You'll get to know that about me.
I'm with you. I hate the orange too. I'm with you. But I like that he came in and said, you know what? Y'all don't want me? Let me do a shot. Nah.
Yeah, the kid could shoot us. I'll give you that much.
That boy was a bad man. I always tell him all the time I can outshoot him, but
all right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. We've had a little bit of fun. This is our first fuss show that we have had. It's our first show with Ty being on here at College SportsCast. I hope you guys enjoyed Ty being with us tonight. Ty has all kinds of ties, pun intended, in the game. He played at St. Catherine. He's been an AAU coach for, I think, a decade or more, something like that. I'm not exactly sure how many years, but quite a few.
Yeah.
How many?
Enough.
Yeah.
Let's see. AAU, I want to say about 12. High school, about 8.
Tate's? Is that where you were at?
Yep, I was at Tate's Creek High School for 8 years, and then I was on the Adidas Gauntlet for about a couple years, couple wild years.
He has a lot of connections, a lot of ties. He knows a lot of these players. He knows Calipari really well, Brad Calipari. He does have a lot of connections within the game, within the AAU circuits and things of that nature. So we thought he'd be a good piece to bring onto the show and have some great insights as well.
And hopefully this week we can get Joe Adams on. Joe's a really good dude.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to see you guys Monday or Tuesday night. We will probably do another show here. And we will see you guys for week 34 of season 4. This is rolling along. And I hope you guys have a great night and finish up. Turn on Peacock, NBC, Nike Hoop Summit. It's 35-31, Team USA. So finish up watching some basketball because after that, you got some NBA and that's about it.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you next time.